Hey, good morning, peace and blessings. I want to talk about a few things today. Um, you know, I've noticed, analyzing, demonic assignments, agents, tactics, demonic wall, spirits, for 4 years. The devil specifically attack, in America, I'm speaking specifically for America. The devil attacks, black people, very prevalently. We come from, nothing. We 3/5 of a man. Um, a lot of that mentality is still, relevant, in a black community, even though it's 2023. I've noticed it through, analysis of family, environments, going through spiritual attacks, warfare, a lot of things. You give, people a certain amount of things that have been oppressed for a while, they act out. You see it in, our culture. Our only, female representatives are, rappers. They wear, they're clowns, they're walking memes, they degrade themselves, on national, for the public view, for the public eye. These are what our young, women are being exposed to, of any race, not just black, but, of any race, These are what our young women are being exposed to. Is demonic. It's a demonic agenda, to degrade women. This is a very, Jezebel spirited, times. We're living in the end times. Mark of the Beast is here. Neuralink, the chip that you get in your hand, is already being, shown in certain places, if you pay attention. Mark of the Beast is here. This is the end times. Everything that God loves and cherishes and tells you to uphold, to gain access to heaven is being perverted. So it means you have Jezebel-spirited women, in full control over, the masses, social media, TV, movies, music, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Cardi B, Sukihana, sex, they're all like, examples of demonic, women, excuse me, of demonic women, in control of our youth, and I don't even think people understand that, youth, if Jesus comes and the dead, rise, and go to heaven, and the followers of Christ, Yeshua, ascend after them, any child, any youth who is under the age of 18, most likely will, go to heaven. They're not of, age to, actually sin through God. They're not adults. They're not fully developed. It is the truth. So people are really setting themselves up to watch, their children, their young children, ascend, while they, are stuck in the rapture. It is crazy, people of a reputable mind, it says in the Bible. It's the end times. People curse God, slander God. They idol worship, cars. Clothed in hellstar. Demonic symbols. People follow. Freemasons. Freemasons don't even understand. Basic concepts of religion. And they've been around as an organization, as a cult. For generations. It doesn't make any sense. But they don't even understand that they're just basic idolaters. They're not Satanists. They don't understand it. They are blatantly obvious with the demonic things they do. They do not seek to hide it. It's very unlike Satan, if you ask me. Satan was the serpent. He came to Eve as a serpent. He put words in her ears. That he whispered words in her ears that perked up her ears. To cause her to eat the apple. And cause our race. Homo sapiens. Human beings to fall to destruction. But you can get saved. You can get close to Yahweh. Excuse me. You can get close to Yahweh through cloaking yourself with the armor of God, through prayer. Be a prayer warrior. Cloak yourself with the armor of God. We went from specifically, excuse me, the African American race. I'm African American. We went from 3/5 of a man, now it's 3/5 of a soul. It's just very scary times we're in. People, our race, specifically, very oppressed. Women are very oppressed, and that's what Satan is attacking. Now in the end times, to cause them to act out. Women are whoring themselves around, and they don't understand all they're doing is digging their hole deeper, for the pit of hell. It doesn't make any sense. The women of elden times, older generations were very much different. These women are very masculine. You know, they're very man-like, in their lifestyle. And I understand women were oppressed, generations back, but it's no excuse. Women are very illogical in their thinking. You have to, as a male that's chosen or that just loves God, cherishes God, Yahweh, you have to find a woman who seeks to be run by your program. That is the biblical order. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, what the Bible says about that. But it doesn't mean women should be, you at your footstool. It just means, women are supposed to bring spiritual unison, to your life. You're supposed to be a spiritual partnership, to bring you and her closer to God, to bring your children closer to God, and gain access to paradise. Like I said, a few minutes ago, we went from, as a black race, and specifically, we went from, 3/5 of a man now with, 3/5 of a soul. People are, selling their souls, and so to speak. You can't really necessarily sell your soul. People don't understand that. But, people are of getting under demonic strongholds, which is basically selling your soul, or, full demon possession, to burn in hell. It doesn't make any sense. We live in a YOLO generation. You only live once. Well, you do only live once. That is true. But, where you go at the end, is something different. You can't really, it's not a do-over. This is not a game. This is the matrix we're in. The matrix of Satan's design, and you have to pass. You have to follow the Bible, the King James Version specifically, biblical instructions before leaving Earth, do analytics. I've watched, my race specifically, African Americans, degrade ourselves, for generations. We finally got to a point in history, where we were where we were, of equal to, Caucasians, and, we got a few things, and we went left, and we degraded ourselves, as a race, if Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, were alive right now, they'll kill themselves, and it's just a sad truth. To see where we've come, as a race, so far in 2023, for all the, pain and suffering and blood and sweat and tears and preaching and love that they put into, the black rights, activist movements, they were a part of in earning generations. It's very sad, you got women running around here shaking their tails, like a skunk, for money, and 99.7% of the time for free. Women, having sex for free. Women out here, got 150 bodies, by the age of 16, and they still live in the same state they were born. They most likely will not leave. A man of high value will not seek to marry them. And so they'll just, find an Ahab man and just, live the rest of their lives off. That is their fate. And it's very sad. Our community, as African Americans, is being, heavily attacked, by Satan. Our women are very much, degrading of themselves. They walk around dressed up like whores, all day, every day. They seek to be, more masculine. They seek to control men. And part of it is because a lot of men since 2020, have given, who had, demonic, spirits and, strongholds attached to their soul, most likely became, of a bisexual, homosexual, down low, sexual orientation. So, they view, a lot of men of the society, differently. They refer to them, as, less than them. Which sort of makes sense, but, you still lie with the men, so, you're very much the same, which doesn't make any sense. It goes to, women, thinking logically, very, delusional. Satan understands that women are spiritually weak. They're of the illogical, by genetic makeup, by genetic design, they think illogically. Their only goal in life is to have a social status, that matches, their moms, their friends, their grandmas, or people around them. It's just way more to life. Why degrade yourself to be a carbon copy clone of somebody that you already seen 50 million generations? So that's illogical. That's delusional. It doesn't make any sense. So women should not, lead, by default. They don't think logically. They're very, illogical. And it's very prevalent, in our culture, as African Americans, and it's sad. Women are, in power, so to speak, socially, and it's degrading the communities, of urban areas, and it's all by, demonic design, demonic agendas, assignments, and people need to realize, excuse me, people need to realize that we are in the matrix. This is the matrix. This is Satan's design. This is how it's supposed to be. He understands, certain things. If you do this, you do that. This will happen. He understands it. Satan seeks nothing but to bring you to hell. He doesn't want you to be rich and famous, with your friends, and go to paradise. That's not what it's about, at all. People think, I get a Benz, with the 3-star symbolism, I'm paying homage to Satan, I have a better life. Satan doesn't care about your bank. He doesn't care about your money. He just wishes you to go to hell. And he'll give you a few things to shut you up. And as long as you already in the matrix, you stuck. And that's what it's about. People need to wake up and be spiritually woke. People are asleep. This is the matrix. You need to take the pill that Neo took and read the Bible. That's the pill. The Bible, the King James Version. And peace and blessings.